The conference room at Sunset Hills HOA headquarters was pure pandemonium. Papers flew across the polished mahogany, table like confetti from a celebration gone bitter. Voices clashed and collided. Board members red-faced and flustered, shouting over one another in a frenzy of panic. At the center of the storm paced Karen Henderson, self-appointed queen of compliance heels, clicking like gunfire on the tile, jabbing at her phone screen as she tried desperately to reach the HOA's attorney. "This can't be happening!" she shrieked, her voice soaring to a pitch that could crack. The crystal plaques mounted on the wall. "He can't just change the lease. There's no way this is legal." Meanwhile, across town, I sat comfortably in my leather armchair, fire crackling softly in the hearth of my off-grid cabin. In my hands, the final pages of a document prepared by my attorney. As I signed the last signature, dotted the last I, and crossed the final T, I smiled. The pen felt featherlight in my hand, but the consequences of those papers, heavy enough to sink a battleship. Karma, as it turns out, sometimes needs a little legal backup. But let me rewind. 3 months ago, I thought I had discovered paradise. After years of urban chaos, honking horns and overpriced rent, I purchased 5 peaceful acres just outside Sunset Hills, rolling hills, towering oaks, and not a soul in sight. Heaven on earth. My plan? A modest off-grid cabin, solar power, rainwater collection, composting toilet. Nothing flashy, just peace. And for 6 glorious weeks I had it. Then came Karen. Like a storm in pearls and polyester, she arrived on a Tuesday morning, disrupting my coffee with the crunch of tires on gravel. Out of her pristine white Escalade she stepped, all hairspray and hostility. "Excuse me," she barked, skipping greetings entirely. "I'm Karen Henderson, president of the Sunset Hills HOA. We need to talk." I took a sip of my coffee and leaned against the porch railing. "Morning, Karen. I'm David. What can I do for you?" She thrust a document at me like a weapon. "You're in violation of our aesthetic standards. This cabin, this structure must be removed immediately." I chuckled. "Karen, hate to break it to you, but I'm not in your HOA. My land isn't part of your development." Her eyes narrowed, nostrils flaring. "That's where you're wrong. Your shack is visible from several of our homes, and it's lowering property values. We have standards to maintain." "I'm sure you do," I said, keeping my voice even. "But your HOA doesn't have jurisdiction here. I'm on county land with all the proper permits." Her face flushed a deeper red. "You can't just drop some hillbilly hut and expect the rest of us to tolerate it. If it's not gone in 72 hours, we'll sue." I crossed my arms. "Karen, I'm a real estate attorney. You might want to double-check your authority before issuing threats." She stomped off, but not before shouting, "72 hours!" as gravel sprayed from her tires. That night, I pulled the property records. What I found made me laugh out loud. 15 years ago, when Sunset Hills was first developed, they made a deal with the former owner of my land in order to build their clubhouse, tennis courts, and most importantly, their only access road to the county highway. They signed a 99-year lease for a sliver of land. Rent, $1 per year. And guess what? That lease came with the property I bought. Legally, that made the Sunset Hills HOA my tenant. And per the lease agreement, I had the right to adjust the rent with 30 days' notice. The next morning, I visited my attorney, Patricia, a property law expert with a passion for knocking bullies off their pedestals. As soon as I explained the situation, she grinned. "David, this is golden. They've been paying you $1 a year for land. They literally can't function without?" "Exactly." "Well," she said, already opening her laptop, "market rate for commercial easement in this area? About $3,000 per acre. How much are they using?" "About 3.5 acres total, 2 for the road. The rest for the clubhouse and amenities." She typed furiously. "That's $2,500 at base market. But considering this land is mission critical, I'd say $31,500 annually is more than justifiable." We drafted a formal notice. 30 days. To adjust the rent from $1 to $31,500. All legal, all enforceable. A beautifully polite sledgehammer. But we didn't stop there. "Let's have a surveyor inspect the property," Patricia said. "Let's find out exactly how far their sprawl has crept." The surveyor's findings? Glorious. Not only were they using the leased land, But they had also encroached beyond it, landscaping, parking spaces. Even their gated entrance encroached onto my property by 2 feet. Patricia read the report and burst out laughing. "David, they're trespassers. We can demand removal or more rent." A certified letter went out Friday. By Monday, Karen was screeching into my phone. $31,000? Are you insane? Good morning to you too, Karen. This is extortion. No, Karen, it's business. When you threatened me, I did my due diligence. We'll fight this. You're welcome to try. While you're at it, ask your lawyer about adverse possession and land encroachment. Click! That evening, Patricia called. You won't believe this. I just spoke with their lawyer. He laughed, called Karen a liability. Apparently, this isn't her first screw-up. The next few weeks were delightful. Karen claimed the lease was invalid. She accused me of discrimination. She even contacted the local news, claiming I was extorting a community. None of it stuck. The lease was airtight, the appraisal fair, and homeowners furious. At their budget meeting, the treasurer announced, "We need to raise fees by $800 per household to cover the new lease rate." $800? For what? For the access road that Karen didn't realize we don't own. A motion to remove Karen as HOA president was introduced that night. It failed barely. But Karen wasn't done. She hired her own lawyer, filed complaints, and eventually organized a protest outside my cabin. I watched them from my porch, coffee in hand. About 15 people, signs waving. After a while, I walked down. "Folks," I said, "I get that you're upset. But let me be clear, 3 weeks ago, your HOA president came to my home and threatened me. What you're dealing with is the consequence of that. I'm not trying to ruin your community, I'm protecting my rights." They shifted uncomfortably. "I'll make you an offer," I continued. "If Karen apologizes and agrees to leave me alone, I'll lower the lease to $5,000 a year. But if she keeps pushing, the full $31,500 stands." That night, I got a call from a board member, Jim Morrison. "David, she's out of control. Legal bills, protests, special assessments. She's bankrupting us." "Then fix it, Jim. Remove her. Apologize. That's the deal." Saturday came the emergency meeting. I didn't attend, but the play-by-play I got afterward was better than a movie. Karen fought back, claimed she was being sabotaged. The vote, 47-3. Karen exploded, papers flying, screaming that they'd regret this. She stormed out for good. 3 days later, I received a formal letter from the new HOA president, accepting my offer. Enclosed was a note brief and cold. "I apologize for my behavior regarding your cabin. I was wrong to threaten legal action. Legally sufficient." 6 months later, I was back on my porch. Garden blooming, cabin expanded, deer grazing nearby. Sunset Hills HOA pays their $5,000 like clockwork. Karen moved out. Rumor has it she tried to join another HOA board and was politely told to sit down. As for me, I'm exactly where I want to be: peaceful, legal, and untouchable. Sometimes the best revenge really is living well and charging fair market rent.